woman lives alone without boyfriends. I am Bonang Matheba, and right now I'm sitting cross-legged on my velvet couch in Johannesburg. A cup of rooibos steaming beside me, ready to talk straight to every woman who's ever been side-eyed for walking into a room solo. You know the look, the quick scan for a +1, the pity smile that says, bless her heart, she's all alone. Honey, let me clear the air before we even get started. Living alone with no boyfriend, no situationship, no dos a m. You up? Text is not a red flag. It's a green light. It's me choosing me every single morning when the sun hits my face through floor-to-ceiling windows I picked out myself. See, society loves to slap labels on us the second we step outside their neat little boxes. Single at 30, must be picky. Single at 40, must be damaged. Single and smiling, now that's suspicious. I've heard it all while sipping champagne at galas, while boarding first-class flights, while signing contracts that make grown men sweat. Bonang, when are you settling down? They ask, as if a ring is the finish line and my life is just a warm-up lap. Sweethearts, I settled down the day I signed the lease on this apartment with my name only on the paperwork. That was the day I told the world and myself that my peace isn't negotiable. Let me paint the picture for you. It's a Saturday night. The city is buzzing below my balcony, and I'm in silk pajamas, face mask on, scrolling through my own playlist titled Queens Only. No one is rushing me to pick a restaurant. No one is sulking because I want to watch a documentary instead of their action flick. No one is leaving dishes in the sink for me to find tomorrow. Just me, my thoughts, and the kind of quiet that feels like a hug from the universe. And yet, without fail, someone will slide into my DMs or corner me at brunch. Don't you get lonely? Lonely? Baby girl, I spent years mistaking noise for company. I've dated the charmer who love-bombed me on week 1 and ghosted by week 3. I've tiptoed around egos bigger than my dreams. I've shrunk myself to fit into someone else's idea of the perfect girlfriend. Lonely is waking up next to a man who doesn't see you. What I have now is solitude, and there's a difference so vast it could swallow Table Mountain. Solitude is the space where I rehearse my TED Talk in the mirror. It's the freedom to cry over a sad song without explaining why. It's ordering sushi for one and eating the last piece without guilt. This isn't me swearing off love. This is me refusing to let love swear off my standards. I want you to feel this in your bones. A woman alone is not a woman waiting. She's a woman becoming. She's curating a life so rich that any man who enters has to bring his A game or keep walking. So if you're out there right now, keys in one hand, takeout in the other, wondering if something's wrong with you, stop. Nothing is wrong. Everything is right on time. You're not behind. You're in the lead. And this conversation we're starting tonight, it's for every sister who's ready to own her solo season like the masterpiece it is. Living alone without boyfriends isn't the plot twist. It's the whole damn story. And I'm here to help you write it unapologetically. Walk with me through my front door, sis past the gold bee on the wall, over the marble floors I picked because they make my heels sing, into the living room where sunlight pours in like it pays rent. This apartment is my sanctuary, my boardroom, my dance floor, my safe space, and nobody gets a vote unless I hand them one. I remember the day I moved in. Boxes stacked high, movers asking where the boyfriend was to help lift the couch. I laughed, tipped them extra, and positioned that couch myself, because why wait for muscle when you've got hustle? Every corner of this place tells my story. The kitchen island where I chop vegetables at midnight because my body said stir fry, not because someone demanded dinner. The bookshelf groaning under fashion tomes, business biographies, and a worn copy of Maya Angelou that I read when imposter syndrome tries to sneak in. The balcony garden where I talk to my herbs like they're girlfriends, basil, rosemary, mint, all thriving because I show up consistently, something I now require from humans too. People assume money buys this freedom, but listen close. I started small, a studio with a hot plate and a dream. I negotiated my first hosting gig while eating ramen over the sink. Independence isn't a luxury, it's a muscle, and I built mine rep by rep. Let me take you through a typical evening. I come home from set, kick off my stilettos, and the silence greets me like an old friend. No passive-aggressive sighs, no what's for dinner interrogation. I pour a glass of Pinot, cue up Burna Boy, and dance in my underwear because my living room, my rules. I light the diptyque candle that costs more than some people's rent because I'm worth it and so are you. Then I sit at my desk, the one facing the city skyline, and map out tomorrow's empire moves. Contracts, collaborations, content calendars. This isn't escapism, it's ownership. I decide when the lights dim, when the music stops, when the world gets let in or locked out. And yes, there are nights I host girlfriends spilling wine, laughter echoing off the high ceilings. But even then, I'm the hostess with the boundaries. Party ends at midnight, shoes by the door, peace restored by 1. My bed is a king, and I sleep diagonally because I can. The linen sheets are 800 thread count. The pillows fluffed exactly how I like. No snoring, no blanket theft. I wake up renewed, not drained. This apartment taught me that space isn't empty, it's possibility. Every square foot is a reminder that I don't need to share oxygen to feel alive. I used to think a home needed 2 heartbeats to be complete. Now I know 1 strong beat is enough if it's yours. So when you're decorating your own corner of the world, be it a dorm, a condo, or a mansion, do it for the woman in the mirror. Hang the art that makes your soul sing. Stock the fridge with your guilty pleasures. Play the music that heals you. Your space is your first love letter to yourself, and darling, make it poetry. Because the day you stop designing your life around someone else's comfort is the day you start living in color. My apartment isn't just where I live, it's where I learned that a woman's address can be her throne, and I rule here with grace, grit, and 0 apologies. Alarm clocks are for people who haven't found their rhythm, but my body wakes me at 6:47 a.m. every day like it's been waiting for permission to shine. I stretch under the duvet, toes pointing toward the footboard. I painted gold on a whim, and the first thought that floats in is gratitude. Not for a man, not for a text, but for this moment where the day is untouched and all mine. I slip into my silk robe, the one that feels like a hug from a wealthier version of myself, and pad to the kitchen. The coffee machine hums like it knows my secrets. I grind beans from a local roaster because mass market tastes like compromise. While it brews, I open the balcony doors and let the Johannesburg morning rush in cool air, distant traffic, birds arguing over breadcrumbs. This is my church. I journal on the chaise lounge, pen scratching across pages that hold dreams too big for small talk. Today's entry. What if I launched that skincare line by December? Yesterday it was poetry about my mother's hands. Tomorrow it might be a grocery list, because even queens buy toilet paper. The point is, no one interrupts the flow. No, babe, have you seen my keys? No negotiating shower time. Just me, my thoughts, and the kind of clarity that comes when your mind isn't split 50-50. After coffee, I roll out my yoga mat facing the window so the rising sun paints me golden. Downward dog isn't about flexibility, it's about grounding. I breathe in strength, exhale doubt. Sweat beads, music pulses. Today it's Jill Scott reminding me I'm living my life like it's golden. And for 40 minutes, I'm a goddess rebuilding her temple 1 pose at a time. Shower, next rainfall, head, eucalyptus steam, playlist shifting to gospel because my soul needs lifting. I moisturize like it's a ritual. Every inch of skin thanked for carrying me this far. Makeup is minimal. Tinted moisturizer, a bold lip mascara that says, I woke up like this. Outfit chosen from a closet organized by color and mood. Today's vibe is power blazer, vintage denim, heels that click like exclamation points. Breakfast is avocado toast with chili flakes because spice wakes the senses. And I eat at the island scrolling through vision boards on my phone, not social media, no doom scrolling past someone else's proposal. Just me curating inspiration. By 9 a.m., I'm in my home office, laptop open, emails flying, empire expanding. But here's the magic. If I want to ditch the plan and drive to the cradle of humankind for silence, I can. No permission needed. These mornings taught me that routine isn't rigid, it's reverence. Every small act, brewing, stretching, writing, dressing, is a love note to the woman I'm becoming. I used to wake up reaching for someone else's warmth. Now I wake up reaching for my own potential, and the difference is electric. So sister, craft your mornings like couture. Wake before the world demands you. Move your body like it's sacred. Feed your mind before you feed the gram. These hours are your runway. Strut them unapologetically. Because the woman who owns her dawn owns her day. And the day you stop outsourcing your joy is the day your life becomes a masterpiece you never want to share the paintbrush for. I push through the heavy glass door of my favorite Italian spot in Melrose Arch. The scent of garlic and fresh basil wrapping around me like a cashmere scarf. And the hostess greets me with the warm smile she reserves for regulars. "Table for one, Miss Matheba," she asks without blinking, and I nod, slipping her a wink because we've done this dance before. She leads me past couples leaning into candlelight, past families, passing plates of pasta, to a corner booth where the leather is buttery and the view is all twinkling city lights. I slide in, order a Negroni extra orange peel, and open the menu like it's a love letter I already know by heart. The waiter pours water, asks if I'm expecting anyone, and when I say, "Just me," and I'm excellent company, he chuckles like he gets it. But across the room, I catch it, the flicker. A woman at a four-top nudges her friend, eyes darting my way, lips moving in that universal whisper that translates to "poor thing eating alone." I've seen it in Paris, in New York, in Cape Town, wine bars, those pitying eyes that assume solo means sad. Honey, let me tell you what they don't see. They don't see the years I spent squeezing into booths built for two, shrinking my laughter so his ego could breathe. They don't see the nights I ordered salads because he commented on calories, or the times I pretended to love craft beer because wine is girly. They don't see me now, savoring burrata so creamy it should be illegal, twirling truffle tagliatelle around my fork like I'm conducting an orchestra of flavor. My phone stays face down. This meal is a date with decadence, and I'm not about to ghost myself. I people watch without envy, watching the couple arguing over the check, the girlfriend checking her reflection every 2 minutes, the husband scrolling sports scores while his wife talks to the breadbasket. I smile into my glass because freedom tastes better than tiramisu. A man at the bar catches my eye, handsome in that tailored suit way, and sends over a dessert menu with a note. "The lady shouldn't dine alone." I laugh out loud, send back the panna cotta untouched with my own note. She's not alone, she's fully present. The waiter grins like he's Team Bonang, and I tip him enough to cover the dessert plus interest. As I step back into the night, heels clicking on cobblestone, Uber app open but not rushed, I realize the pity was never about me. It's about their fear of their own reflection. They see a woman unaccompanied and panic because what if the table is big enough for one and still feels full? What if joy doesn't require a +1? I slip into the back seat, roll the window down, let the breeze tangle my hair, and think about every sister out there dodging those same eyes. Next time you're at a restaurant alone, order the lobster. Take the corner table. Raise your glass to the woman who taught you that a meal for one can feed a soul for a lifetime. Because the moment you stop performing coupledom for strangers is the moment you start feasting on your own fabulous life. And darling, you deserve every delicious bite. My phone lights up at 12:03 a.m. Screen glowing like a tiny moon on my nightstand. And I know before I even look that it's not my alarm or my assistant, it's one of them. The wid warrior, the situationship sniper, the ex who swears he's changed but still spells "you're wrong." Tonight, it's Kyle, the music producer with the dimples and the disappearing act, texting, "Been thinking about you," followed by the eggplant emoji, like it's a personality. I roll over, silk pillow cool against my cheek, and let the message sit unread because silence is my new love language. See, I used to be the girl who replied at 12:04, heart racing, thumbs flying, negotiating my worth in real time. I'd convinced myself that late night attention was affection, that crumbs were a buffet if I was hungry enough. I'd wake up to "sorry babe overslept" and pretend it didn't sting. But somewhere between the third ghosting and the second "I'm not ready for a relationship, but let's keep this going." I built a fortress around my piece with bricks made of self-respect. Now my phone has a VIP list, and booty call o'clock isn't on it. I keep the ringer on for my mom, my manager, and the girlfriends who text memes at 3 a.m. because they know I'll laugh tomorrow. Everyone else gets the digital equivalent of a closed gate and a guard dog named Standards. It's not that I don't feel the tug sometimes, the biological clock ticking like a metronome, the FOMO when Instagram shows couples in matching pajamas. But I've learned that temporary body heat isn't worth permanent heart chill. I think about the women scrolling through their own midnight battlefields right now, thumbs hovering, wondering if "he's just busy" is a valid excuse. Sweetheart, busy men make time, unavailable men make excuses. I keep a note in my phone titled "Reasons I Don't Answer After 10 p.m. and it's a masterpiece. 1. My sleep is non-negotiable. 2. My body is a temple, not a drive-through. 3, I don't audition for roles that haven't posted the job description. I read it when temptation texts in all caps. Last week it was Marcus, the investment banker who misses our talks, but only remembers my number when his deals close and his bed's empty. I left him on red so long the bubbles turned to dust. Instead, I got up, made chamomile tea, and finished the pitch deck for my lingerie line because empire hours don't sleep, but I do, gloriously. The best part? The men worth my minutes don't play midnight games. They call at 7 p.m. to ask about my day, send flowers on Tuesdays because Monday was hard, and respect I'm booked like it's gospel. Until then, my bed is a no-fly zone for chaos. So next time your phone buzzes and your gut says don't, listen, put it on do not disturb, put on a face mask, put your energy where it multiplies. The right love doesn't sneak in through the back door of your insomnia. It walks through the front at high noon with respect in one hand and consistency in the other. And until that day, let the unread messages stack like love letters to your future self. Proof that you finally learned to choose peace over pieces. Let me take you back to 2013, when my highlight was still a dream and my apartment was a shoebox with ambition. I was 23. Hosting a music show that paid in exposure and ramen. And I believed love was the missing puzzle piece to my picture-perfect life. Enter Thabo, tall, smooth-talking lawyer with a smile that could sell ice to penguins. He swept in with roses, rooftop dinners, and promises that tasted like champagne. Within weeks, I was rearranging my schedule, my wardrobe, my personality to fit his frame. I stopped wearing red lipstick because it's too much. Started watching soccer because it's our thing, and apologized when his tone made my stomach knot. I told myself this was compromise, that love meant meeting halfway, even if halfway was his apartment, and I was losing miles. The cracks showed up small. A cancelled birthday plan because court ran late. A joke about my hosting gig being cute, the way he'd scroll through his phone while I poured out my dreams. But I patched them with denial and Dior perfume. Then came the night I found the texts. Another woman, same pet names, same rooftop. I confronted him in my tiny kitchen, voice shaking, and he said, "You're overreacting, Bonang. You knew I wasn't ready to be exclusive." I stood there in his oversized Harvard sweatshirt, realizing I'd been auditioning for a role he never intended to cast. I cried in my car until dawn, mascara rivers on the steering wheel, thinking I'd lost the love of my life. Spoiler, I'd lost the version of myself who thought love required losing. The breakup was brutal, unfollowing, unfriending, everything, but it was the cocoon I needed. I moved into my first real apartment 6 months later, painted the walls sunshine yellow, and swore I'd never shrink again. I dated after that, casually, carefully, each time noticing the red flags I used to call decorations. There was the actor who loved my fame but not my fire, the entrepreneur who wanted a trophy, not a partner, the nice guy who kept score of favors. Each exit taught me a new boundary. I started saying no like it was oxygen. I stopped explaining my singleness like it was a crime. I built a career that had me on magazine covers while they were still figuring out their 5-year plan. And somewhere between sold-out events and sold-out truth, I realized I didn't need someone to complete me. I needed to stop letting them delete me. That heartbreak was my masterclass in self-possession. It taught me that the right person doesn't dim your light to feel brighter. They bring their own bulbs. So if you're nursing a wound from a love that asked you to fold yourself into origami, unfold. Take the lessons, leave the luggage. Your heart isn't a fixer-upper. It's a 5-star resort, and only guests who respect the dress code get a key. The day you stop auditioning for love is the day you start directing it. And trust me, the script you write solo will have a happier ending than any they could improvise. I keep a leather-bound notebook on my nightstand, the kind with a ribbon marker and pages thick enough to hold ink without bleeding through. And inside it lives my never again list, 27 bullet points written in purple gel pen after too many glasses of Sauvignon and one too many almost. It started the night I deleted Thabo's number for the 3rd and final time, but it's grown like a living contract between me and my future. Number 1, never again will I dim my shine to make someone comfortable in their shade. Number 2, never again will I apologize for ambition that scares a man who's still figuring out his. I read it aloud some mornings, voice bouncing off the bedroom walls, because declarations need witnesses, even if the only one is the sunrise. The list isn't bitter, it's boundaries wearing armor. Number 7 is my favorite. Never again will I let potential talk me out of peace, because potential is just procrastination in a suit. I've added to it over brunches with girlfriends, over voice notes at 1 a.m., over tears that turned into triumphs. Number 12, never again will I stay past the moment respect leaves the room. I recite them like scripture when temptation texts in lowercase. Last month, a record label exec slid into my DMs with, "You're too pretty to be single," and I almost laughed. My wig off, pretty is irrelevant king. Try too peaceful to be played. The list isn't a wall, it's a filter. It lets in the light and keeps out the dust. I teach it to my mentees, to my little cousins, to any woman who asks how I walk through rooms like I own the air. I tell them to write their own in lipstick on the mirror if they have to make it bold, make it non-negotiable. Because the day you stop negotiating your worth is the day the universe starts bidding higher. My list ends with number 27. Never again will I forget that my heart is a VIP lounge, not a food court. I close the notebook, slide it back under the novel I'm reading, and sleep like a woman who knows exactly what she deserves. So grab your pen, sister, start your list tonight. Write the hurts you're done carrying, the habits you're done excusing, the half-loves you're done settling for. Read it until it's muscle memory. Live it until it's legacy. The moment your never again becomes your always forward is the moment you step into a power no one can revoke. And honey, that crown fits you perfectly. The clock flips to 2:07 a.m. and the apartment is so quiet I can hear the fridge humming a low gospel. And suddenly the loneliness shows up, uninvited, slipping under the door like cool air from the hallway, wrapping around my ankles, whispering old insecurities in a voice that sounds suspiciously like my own. I'm wide awake in the dark, city lights striping the ceiling through half-open blinds. And for a minute, I feel the weight of every empty pillow, every unsent goodnight text, every future plan that still says I instead of we. It's not dramatic, it's human. Even queens get visited by the ghost of what if. I don't fight it anymore. I used to leap out of bed, scroll until my eyes burned, text an ex just to prove I wasn't alone. Now I breathe through it like a wave. I sit up, wrap myself in the throw blanket my grandmother crocheted, and let the feeling have its 3 minutes of fame. I name it. Hey loneliness, I see you. Then I ask what it's trying to teach me tonight. Sometimes it's grief for the family I haven't built yet. Sometimes it's fear that my standards are a moat too wide. Sometimes it's just hormones and too much caffeine after 6 p.m. I get up, pad to the kitchen, heat milk with honey and a pinch of nutmeg, my mother's recipe for everything that aches. I sit at the island, steam curling like incense, and I talk to God, to my future daughter, to the version of me who's still healing. I play Nina Simone low. Let feeling good remind me that birds fly because they trust their wings, not because someone promised them the sky. By the time the mug is empty, the wave has crested and rolled back out to sea. I crawl back under the covers, pull the loneliness close like a teddy bear I've outgrown, and whisper, "Thank you for the visit, but I've got this." I fall asleep to the rhythm of my own heartbeat, steady, strong, solo, but never small. Morning comes soft, and I wake up grateful for the ache, because it proves I'm still capable of wanting, still brave enough to feel. I journal it all, the timestamp, the trigger, the takeaway. These 2 a.m. visits are data points on my growth chart. They don't scare me anymore, they school me. So when loneliness knocks on your door at witching hour, don't bolt the lock or open it wide, slide the chain and ask what it needs. Give it tea, give it truth, give it a timeline, then send it on its way with a map back to your peace. Because the woman who can sit with her solitude without surrendering her standards is the woman who will greet love as an equal, not a rescue. And darling, that kind of wholeness is the softest place to land. I used to imagine him in specifics, tall, bearded, passport stamped, playlist overlapping mine like a perfect Venn diagram. But now I imagine him in feelings, the way the room will shift when he walks in, not louder, but fuller, like the air learns a new language. I'm not waiting, I'm preparing. My life is a gourmet meal already plated, and he'll be the dessert that doesn't overshadow the entree. I picture our first date in my mind on long runs along the Emerentia Dam, him asking about the scar on my knee from a childhood bike crash, me asking why he still keeps his grandmother's voicemail saved, I see us laughing over burnt attempt at Sunday roast, him washing dishes while I dry, because partnership isn't 50 over 50, it's 100 over 100 on the days the math doesn't add up. He'll know my love language is quality time and acts of service, and he'll speak it fluently without subtitles. He'll celebrate my wins louder than his own, text drive safe when I'm on set until 3 a.m., and never make me choose between my dreams and his ego. I've rehearsed the hard conversations too, how we'll argue about money without weaponizing it, how we'll protect date night like it's sacred, how we'll build a home where our kids see a queen and a king modeling respect in real time. But here's the plot twist. I don't need the rehearsal to feel complete. If he shows up tomorrow, great. If he shows up in 5 years, still great. If he's a she or a they or a never, I'm still the love story. I've decorated the guest room in neutral tones just in case, but I sleep just as soundly knowing it might stay a yoga studio. I flirt with possibility the way I flirt with fashion, trying it on, admiring the fit but never buying unless it's couture for my soul. I date myself extravagantly. Solo trips to Mauritius where I read on the beach until the sun kisses me brown. Cooking classes in Florence where I learned to make pasta with my hands and my heart. Broadway shows in New York where I cry at the curtain call because art understands me. Every experience is a deposit in the joint account of my joy. When he does arrive, he'll meet a woman who knows the price of every ingredient in her happiness and won't accept substitutions. He'll say, I brought wine, and I'll say, I hope it pairs with independence. We'll build from abundance, not absence. So sister, stop sketching his face and start scripting your standards. Live so fully that love has to jog to catch up. The right one won't complete the puzzle. He'll admire the picture you've already framed and ask where he can hang it. And when that day comes, you'll open the door not with desperation, but with delight, because you'll know the greatest love story was the one you wrote solo. And every chapter after is just bonus footage of a queen who never needed a co-star to shine. I'm writing this on the balcony at golden hour, the sky bleeding orange and pink like it's showing off just for me, and the city below is starting its evening song, horns, laughter, the distant thump of a mapiano from a rooftop party I wasn't invited to and don't need to be. My laptop is warm on my thighs, a half-eaten peach dripping juice onto the saucer, and I realize this is the moment I want to bottle in hand to every woman who's ever felt less because her left hand is bare. This letter isn't advice from a pedestal. It's a mirror from one sister to another, smudged with fingerprints and real talk. First, to the girl staring at her ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering if she's too much, you're not too much, you're just in rooms that are too small. The world trained us to shrink whisper when we want to roar, apologize when we take up space, settle when we deserve the whole menu. But look at your life right now. You pay your bills with money you earned. You choose your sheets because they feel like clouds. You dance in your kitchen to songs that make your hips remember joy. That's not getting by, that's sovereignty. I want you to stand in your bathroom mirror tomorrow morning, naked or in your rattiest t-shirt, and say out loud, I am the main character, the love interest, and the plot twist. Say it until your reflection believes it. To the woman who just ended a situationship that felt like a full-time job with no benefits, congratulations, you just got promoted to CEO of your own heart. Delete the screenshots, block the number, and throw yourself a party with the good champagne, the one you were saving for someone special. You are someone special. Pour it, sip it, let the bubbles remind you that effervescence doesn't need a +1. To the one whose mother keeps asking about grandchildren, tell her the truth kindly. Mom, I'm planting a forest, not just a tree. When the soil is rich enough, the seeds will come. Then send her photos of your thriving plants, your packed calendar, your glow. Legacy isn't only diapers and lullabies. It's the way you teach little girls they can own the room before they share it. To the sister in her 40s who thinks the train left the station is yours. You built the tracks with every risk you took, every no you honored, every dream you refused to bury. Age is not expiration, it's vintage. You're not late, you're limited edition. To the young queen still figuring out rent and romance, protect your softness but don't mistake it for weakness. Cry in the shower, scream into pillows, then wipe your face and negotiate your salary like the badass you are. You don't need armor, you need alignment. Choose people who choose you on Tuesdays, not just Fridays. And to every woman reading this, whether you're in a penthouse or a studio, whether your bed is shared or gloriously sprawled across, your worth is not a negotiation table. It's a birthright. You were whole the day you took your first breath, and no relationship status can add or subtract from that math. Love will come maybe in the form of a partner who matches your stride, maybe in deeper friendships, maybe in a niece who calls you auntie superstar, maybe in the quiet satisfaction of knowing you built a life that fits. But until then, and even after then, keep the main thing. You keep traveling to the cities that scare you. Keep saying yes to the opportunities that make your ancestors proud. Keep saying no to anything that asks you to fold yourself into origami to fit someone else's box. Keep the playlists, the rituals, the inside jokes with yourself. Keep the boundaries like garden walls beautiful, strong, and yours to open when the season is right. I seal this letter with the same peach-stained fingers that typed it, slide it into an envelope addressed to future me and every sister, and tuck it into the notebook beside my never again list. Because this isn't the end, it's the exhale before the next inhale. You beautiful are not a draft, you are the final copy underlined in gold. Live like it, love like it, lead like it. And when the world asks who gave you permission, tell them you did signed, sealed and solo. Now, if this spoke to your soul, hit that subscribe button, drop your favorite solo ritual in the comments like if you're claiming your throne today, and share this with every queen who needs the reminder. New chapters drop every week. Don't miss the next page of your story.